Everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Women of Community Banking podcast. Today we've got Cheryl with us. Hi, Cheryl. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Firstly, Cheryl, thank you for joining us in today's podcast. Really appreciate. Uh, I mean, we know Cheryl is really busy, but she giving us 30 minutes of this time. We really appreciate that, and thank you for this. Quick introduction of Cheryl is she's a very well-respected marketing leader across the credit union ecosystem. She's a CMO of Altra Credit Union, based Wisconsin based. So we're just chit chatting that how warm Wisconsin right now is and how cold are we. So that's the way how we started the conversation. But different topic. But she's a CMO of Altra, being Altra for almost, Cheryl, if I'm not wrong, for 14 years right now. Almost right, will be completing 14 years in the next few months. A very long-standing veteran leader, a champion of credit unions, and believing in the concept of people helping people. Cheryl, I don't know if I did a decent enough introduction of yours. Please feel free to add if you want.
No, that's great.
That was quick. I mean, what happens, you cannot summarize 39 years in 39 seconds. That's not possible, right? So I don't complain. I did a good job. Good. Shell, why don't you talk about your journey? I mean, you came to credit unions 13 years back, right? You are doing something else. So what has been your journey so far? How did you start in marketing, and how did you end up being in credit unions?
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate being here, and I'm happy to share my journey. As you said, I've have over 39 years in marketing, and I've been in a lot of diverse roles in companies, and each one of them has really taught me something that I use today. So I'll just start right out of college. I worked for a national footwear company, both manufacturer and source of, and they also sourced footwear. So that role really taught me consumer marketing, business to business marketing, and how to market by region, because different parts of the country require different footwear. So learning that regionalization of marketing was really critical, even in my role today. And then I moved on to work in the agency world. So I did business development for an agency that worked with iconic brands. And in that role, I learned that you really need to know the sales process. And I learned, I always supported sales, and it was a role where now I had to actually do the sales process. So that was very important. My husband and I, we took a journey out to California, and we had the opportunity to work for a boutique winery, which was really
Wow.
interesting. And we had the opportunity to work together as a team at the winery. So that was a really fun position. It really helped me understand the importance of membership and how to treat members and put on very engaging events, and also brand differentiation. There's so many wineries out there, and you really need to differentiate yourself if you're going to survive in that industry. And,
Yeah.
you know, my husband and I could never work together at home. We would always be frustrated with each other on projects. But personally, that experience showed me that we were really in sync when we worked together on a business standpoint. So I love that experience. And then I also had the opportunity to form a branding agency with two other partners, and that really taught me how to use resources and also not be intimidated by larger agencies. We went up against, for a large global company, big agencies from San Francisco and New York. And because of our talent and our ingenuity, we were able to land that account, which was incredible. So I really learned that as long
Wow.
as as long as you're creative and, smart, and the brand's market, you'll succeed. And that really led me to my role at Altra, which I have to say has been the most impactful for me. Altra has trusted me with the resources to build the brand, create a talented team, and get involved in the community. And I have just felt like this experience has been the best fit for me and the best role for me, especially with the credit union's motto of people helping people. And at the credit union, I first started out 14 years ago with a very small team. And I really wanted to build the team to be almost an in-house creative agency and create, if you will, world-class marketing. And I'm proud to say that that team is incredible. They produce videos and podcasts and amazing creative work. And it's on brand, which I just love. And they're super talented and they use all sorts of different marketing tools. And that was my first goal. And I'm really proud of that team and the work that they create. And then I also focused on the youth market when I first
Hmm.
started. Um, many financials, youth are not profitable when they first come on board, right?
Yeah.
But we have a lot of metrics and we track the youth membership over the years. And
Hmm.
what we've learned is that if you can recruit someone before the age of 18, they will stay loyal to you. They have more services with
Sure.
you than members if you recruit them after the age of 18. So that program has been really successful. And I'm proud that our average age is approximately a little over 40, where the industry average is in the high 50s.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of credit unions reaching out, well, what are you doing? And I'm fortunate to have a really talented person in that area really run our youth strategies. So that was really exciting and, rewarding when I first started, at Altra. And when I became the chief marketing officer, I also had member experience fall under me. And again, it's about the incredible talent you have on your teams. And that's one team where just great talent. We have a 9.22 out of 10 overall member satisfaction score, which just shows how well that team works with our branch offices, to make that member experience really exceptional. That team also, I had the opportunity to work with them on financial wellness. So a couple years ago, our CEO said, we've got to look at this area and really help our members be more financially well. And so
Yeah.
we took it on under my team. And today, it's just been probably 3 or 4 years. We have 43 financial wellness coaches on staff. We have
Wow.
yeah, I know, right? We have exceptional educational tools available to our members. And according to the Financial Health Network and a survey that we did, our members are more financially well than the national average. So
Wow.
that's been a great experience to work on that initiative with that team. And that team also took on a multicultural initiative that I worked with them on. And, our markets are really diverse. We're in Texas, Tennessee, we're in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And so we've really focused on how can we serve those unique segments of our membership. And we hired bilingual staff. We translated items. We did a outreach to organizations that catered to those diverse type of membership,
Hmm.
and also events. So we participate in events, and that has been a really worthy and incredible initiative that we have at the credit union for those unique members.
I'm sure. So that was a very well-rounded journey that you talked about. And, one of the interesting things, obviously, your career is filled with, I would say, uncommon routes, right? I mean, you worked in a winery, started your own agency, got back to the credit union, and now you're happy. I'm immensely proud of what you've achieved so far, Cheryl. I mean,
Well,
we are
thank
really proud.
you. Thank you. And, Altra also gave me the opportunity to work with our wealth management team. And so that was about 6 years ago. And boy, that was very challenging. We
Hmm.
work with True Stage as a partner for that
Yeah.
program. And we were not even in the top 50, not even close out of their credit union clients. And today, as a matter of fact, as of January, we are number 15 out of 254 credit unions in the wealth management area. So that has just been an
That's
incredible.
huge.
And there's all sorts of credit unions that reach out to us for best practices on how to market a wealth management program. So that also has been a real highlight of my career to work with them. But, I have to tell you, my heart at the credit union is really community outreach and engagement. We have done so many great things. In October on Columbus Day, we close, and over 400 employees will volunteer at over 50 organizations across the country to really make a difference. We also implemented Best Life Community Awards, and this is a member-driven
Hmm.
initiative where our members can actually nominate and vote for those organizations that need help financially. And we provided over 90,000 in grants to those organizations. So that was a really cool initiative that we implemented. And we also encourage our employees to volunteer and get out there. And last year we implemented a program called Do More. And
Hmm.
so it's based on providing grants to our employees for their volunteer hours. And that was so well received. And we had employees, some of them donate over 155 hours in the community. So, and they were able to give grants to those organizations that are important to them. And
I understand.
personally, I have been so fortunate to be able to serve on boards.
Yeah.
I served on a Hunger Task Force board. I also served on Great Rivers United Way. What's really unique to the credit union industry, I was
Yeah.
able to join a board that of an organization that just started 2 years ago, and it's called the
Hmm.
Tri-Unity Foundation.
Hmm.
And this foundation provides grants to those that are terminally ill. And I've seen firsthand as a board member the impact that those grants make. And that's been another current experience that I'm really proud to be a part of.
You do so many things. I don't think a 21 minutes interview is, I would say, we will do justice to your background. Definitely, we have to shoot more episodes. But yeah, I mean, moving on to the next question, specifically, Cheryl, about your strategy. Now, obviously, Ultra operates across multiple markets, right? So, how do you balance the local relevance with the brand that you've built over the period of 14 years, right? So, how do you balance both of them?
It's challenging, and it goes back to that regional marketing experience. And, our markets are diverse. What works in La Crosse, Wisconsin may not work in Tyler, Texas. So we do unique promotions by market, get involved in different events and organizations that are meaningful to that market. But I think what's really made us successful is that we work as a team. We hold monthly marketing meetings, for example, with the Texas team, and we involve all disciplines, mortgage, business, the branch managers, my team, and we meet every month and we talk about what are the challenges, how is our marketing performing, what do we need to pivot on, what events do we need to be involved with, what
Yeah,
organizations do we need to help, and I feel getting that input has really been invaluable and has made us very successful marketing to different areas of the country.
I see. Moving on to a more tactical question, right? Because you've done a plethora of things from setting up a wealth management marketing engine, because that's a pretty difficult thing to do. You know that, right? Not a lot of trade unions do succeed in promoting wealth management products. It's very difficult because that's where community banks come in, right? We become wealth management or asset management or SMP segment. So my question is about channels, right? Now, with the advent of AI, so many new channels that have come up. Maybe I'm personally passionate about the AI engines, for example, the Chat GPT of the world, the Perplexities of the world, and then you've got those traditional channels, be it billboard, be it paid media, be it sending direct mail, plethora of them. So, what growth channels do you think are most effective today for Ultra and for credit unions as a whole?
Well, we believe, and I believe at Altra in multi-channel marketing. There's just not one channel, and
Mhm.
we've done some testing where, we haven't done as much television, and our results on our website have been lower visits because of that. So we keep with multi-channel marketing, but digital marketing is our powerhouse. We use, Google Max for, AI generated targeted audiences. And we have a big social media machine. where we utilize a platform that really analyzes our content with AI
Mhm.
and analyzes audience so that we can target better. So that's where AI has really helped us. Every channel is really analyzing and making sure we have the right content, the right messages, and the right audiences. Um, and so
Mhm.
digital has been amazing since we beefed up our digital strategy a couple of years ago. We have seen double digit,
Yeah,
visitors to our website, page visitors, and even conversions. We're able to track those conversions, from really start to finish through digital marketing. So that's our
sure.
workhorse, but we also do a lot of other things. We do utilize outdoor. This is kind of fun. I hope you guys can see it, but we wrapped a bus, and this is
Nice.
is this is in Rochester, Minnesota, and it's out there right now, and they sent us this. But we found, that type of awareness. We get a lot of comments and a lot of awareness from outdoor billboards, wrap buses, all sorts of creative things we do. Um, Social media is interesting because, again, we beefed up our strategy a couple years ago there with really great content plan every month. And our social media platform that we utilize, they benchmark us against other companies, not just credit unions. And for example, the average number of engagements for organizations like 54,000, we did over 200,000.
Wow,
So, and we
that's
do
amazing.
fun, yeah, we do fun TikTok shorts and videos, and we look at TikTok trends, and really they're educational, but they are quite entertaining. Our team has done a great job on developing our whole social media strategy and engagement.
Absolutely. That's great to hear. I mean, the example of bus, that was crazy, right? That's interesting. Even I believe in the same thing, whatever we talked about digital. So I'm very bullish about addressable media is what I call addressable media way of reaching out. That is the way forward. Absolutely. Uh Next question in the interest of time, obviously we had I mean, I wanted to ask you many questions, but we've just got 5 minutes left. Last two or three questions. One is, what has been your biggest marketing bet in the last 12 months, and what did you learn from it?
So our biggest bet has been the incorporation of AI, and we started a couple years ago just focusing internally. So what tools can we use to make our marketing department more efficient? How can we create better content? We use a video editing program called Synthesia that's incredible, that has saved so much time, and it uses AI to edit out things like if you're, doing
Hmm.
something and things like that. And we use the whole Adobe Photoshop Creative Suite, and that's created a lot of efficiency for my team.
Sure.
In addition, we have implemented external AI resources for our members. We were very careful at first, but now those tools have become, if you will, there's, like we were worried about hallucinations and things like that. But
Mhm.
so we implemented a tool. It's an ADA compliant tool, website accessibility tool, and that's on our website. And that can translate our website in over 50 different languages. And it also has accessibility tools, like it can make the type bigger for those that maybe have poor eyesight, dyslexia. It can change our website to help those members. So that's been an external AI tool that has been so helpful to members that need that
Was
type. And then we also, last year, early in the year, we implemented an intelligent virtual assistant on our website. So we call it ACE, and ACE learns every time we change information on our website. ACE is able to handle about 1,000 questions
wow.
from our members a month, and it's 24/7. So our
Yeah.
biggest bet has been on looking at tools very carefully, very strategically on how to implement. We implemented Copilot last year also with a group of employees, and that has been incredible for
Phenomenal.
efficiency and content generation. So that's been our biggest.
Biggest pet. Understand. In the interest of time, one last question, Cheryl, is 2026 is not exactly like the last year, but different both in terms of macro and micro. So, what capabilities do you think will separate high performing credit unions from the rest?
Two things come to mind. One is personalization. We are working right now with a new platform to create highly personalized journeys.
Mhm,
We also look at transactional data to understand where our members, what they need help with, what they're doing. Are they home
mhm,
improvers, right? Do they need our help with, those type of loans? So we're using transactional data, and we really want to make sure that we're relevant to our members. So that's one thing that I think will really differentiate credit unions in 2026. The other is a term I read about called cognitive banking.
mhm,
And really, that's really understanding what our members need
mhm,
and, creating those tools to help them
mhm,
be more financially well or,
mhm,
to help them, in their financial journey. And
mhm.
it's really knowing that, predicting that in
Yeah,
advance for our members. And so I think those two things are really going to separate
interesting.
out performing marketing teams in 2026.
So, Cheryl, thank you. We appreciate this time spent with us and especially your journey, right? Your journey has been fantastic. I don't think one episode is enough. We have to find some more time to do other questions, but thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Cheryl.